Hey, everybody, and welcome back to The Shadows with episode 4 of the Horror Outcast podcast. It's been a while since we did a Horror Outcast podcast, so we were going to do We Love Horror, but basically, Brittany's kind of sick tonight, so she won't be able to make it. So I figured we postponed the Ghostface versus Michael Myers until next Monday. So we're going to do that. So I figured why not do the Horror Outcast podcast episode 4 tonight. So that's why we're here. So also to let's give prayers and everything to basically Brittany. Let's hope she gets better. Hope she gets well and everything else. So like I said, she's sharing with us in spirit as always. But so today, I kind of had some fall feel today in a way. I had to go outside and mow the grass tonight, and it just felt cooler outside. You know, we've been struggling with rain and but it's been hot, been like in the 90s, hundreds, and it's with the humidity around here in Illinois is just crazy. And it's just, oh my god, I hate heat. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so I'm used to those 15, 120 degree weather, and I hate the heat. I'd rather have the coolness or the wintertime. Plus I was born in December too. I'm a winter baby, so I have fall and winter all year round, but I just hate the heat. But it was kind of nice getting a nice little cooler. I was like, man, I don't think fall's coming early this year, but we can't get that lucky. But in a way, we're almost going to be close to the end of August, starting of September, and then of course, our time of the month comes around. So, but I do have a couple guests joining me tonight. You all know Love. He's actually came on. I think one of our, I believe it was one of our Horror Outcast podcasts, and he was on there before. And it's I believe the second time coming on to the channel, and you all know him and love him. None other than Mr. Donnie.
I am here.
Hey. And like I said, I always come out of the shadows, shaping the shadows. Donnie came out of the shadows too, but also too, he came out of the shadows, and he also brought a friend with him too. And this is actually his first appearance on the Shaping the Shadows YouTube channel. And let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Aaron.
Boo! No, I'm kidding.
How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me. I dig the Humpty Hump get up.
Oh, thank you.
He told me that he had a surprise.
I was born this way. This is my real nose.
This is your nose.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Not too bad. Gonna figure out what we're gonna talk about tonight. I'm kind of into two movies I actually really enjoy, but also with this, it's kind of gonna be like a kind of a chill. The Horror Outcast podcast. This kind of was last minute. I kind of think about talking about either Fright Night. If you guys ever seen Fright Night, I really enjoy Fright Night. I kind of want to talk about Fright Night, or we could talk about Trick or Treat because I've been like Trick or Treat is on the brain for me for the past couple of days. So I kind of may talk about Trick or Treat, or also we can talk about pretty much anything and everything around here. So.
Yeah, I've seen Trick or Treat, and I've seen the original and the remake of Fright Night. I think the original is far more scary, honestly, but that's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, the original Fright Night. Yeah, the remake. I mean, the remake wasn't bad, but I like the original because in a way, always when it comes to original movies, they're always going to be, in my opinion, better because when you get the remakes. They got their own little twists on it and do everything else. I mean, with back in the day, especially, with the vampire, I mean, he had that swag, he had the nice clothing, the way he walked, the way he moved, the way he spoke, it was like, you were kind of like drawn to him in a way. I mean, nowadays, like in the remake, he was more like, kind of like that bad boy type, like your typical bad boy, with the motorcycle, and the girls and stuff. But this one had more, class. Yeah. Which I really enjoy.
What year is the original one from?
I think it was in the 80s, wasn't it?
Pretty sure it was the 80s. I'm not entirely sure.
I know that's what Google's for, right?
It's been so long since I've seen both of those. 'Cause I don't know what it is. I think I'm more of just a fan of like franchises. I guess where you get more of the story than just kind of like the one and dones. That that doesn't mean that I don't. I like House on Haunted Hill. I like Nope. Get Out. Like those are just just one offs. But overall, I think I like a continuation thing. Child's Play, Halloween, Candyman. Like it's a franchise that you get more than one story with it.
Actually, it came out in 1985.
Okay.
But I mean, but sometimes when it comes to like movies, sometimes sequels aren't ever really the greatest. I mean, sometimes you get your sequels, they kind of suck, and sometimes one and done is actually a lot better than having a remake. I mean, especially with one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time, American Werewolf in London. Now they pretty much did like a sequel to it, American Werewolf in Paris, which totally sucked in my opinion.
I didn't even know
So
that.
I mean, again, you have the original, and then you got a sequel, but again, it just doesn't. Sometimes they don't pan out. I mean, sometimes they do. I mean, like you got Halloween 78, of course. Halloween 2 was actually pretty good. Then of course you got Halloween 3, which kind of sucked for everybody, but then kind of it grew a cult following. Then of course you got the other Halloween films. Especially same thing with Friday 13th. Some people love Jason Goes to Hell. Some people hate Jason Goes to Hell. Some people love Jason Takes Manhattan. I hate Jason Takes Manhattan because I mean he doesn't take Manhattan. He just takes a boat to Manhattan. Pretty much. That's all it is. So I mean, you have those, you got those in a way.
Well, I mean, so when I say continuation of the story, I mean, it's cool. You got a couple of sequels. I don't mean where you start to get out of control with it, where there's 11, 12, 13 movies in this one, because then, like you said, you do start to run out of ideas, and at some point they're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. You know what I mean? Like, why did he have to go to space and go to hell? Like, you know what I mean? It made no sense. Not to me, but it. That said, you said American Werewolf in London. That's John Landis, right?
Yes.
He did that before or after he did Thriller?
He did it. So he did American Werewolf in London before he did Thriller, because that's what Michael Jackson got that's what Michael Jackson got the idea for his thing. Also too, the makeup artist Rick Baker is actually the one who actually did makeup for Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Oh,
that makeup is terrifying.
Yeah, it really is. My mom, she might be tuned in at this moment. She saw Michael Jackson on tour in 1988, and she said that whenever he performed, he had the werewolf like mask on, and he had the red and gold like Letterman jacket with the big M on it. And when they started doing like the synchronized dance, like all the lights went out and his jacket started to glow, and it had like all these lights on it and stuff, which that would have been amazing to see. But as a kid, that video terrified me. He did like a comeback concert in 2001, and they were showing his music videos all day. And I remember seeing the Billie Jean video, and I was mad that when I walked on the sidewalk, it didn't light up like it did for him. And then they showed the Thriller video, and just that shot at the end where he turns around and his eyes are yellow, and you hear Vincent Price laughing. I got up and like ran out of the room because I was so scared. Like, because at the time I was maybe 6, and I was like, "There's no way." And then he did that video, Ghosts. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. That it's like a movie because it's like 36 minutes long, but that is really freaky too.
Oh yeah, where he like possesses people. He's like ghost. He's like talking whatever. It's like in a church, wherever it is, or school.
And he was in like that big mansion, and like the townspeople came to like get him out of the town. Yeah, they were like a mob. Yeah.
All right, so before we keep going, we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. A lot of people chat tonight. So first one is Haddonfield Slasher. It says, "What's up, Shape? How's it going, Haddonfield Slasher?" Then of course we also have Mrs. Shape in the house. She goes, "Hey everyone, how's it going, Mrs. Shape?" Actually, she's actually going to lay down here soon. Haddonfield says, "Get well soon." Yeah, that's for Brittany. Hopefully she gets well. And then we also have Miss Chelsea in the chat. She goes, "Hello, Shape. So happy I'm able to catch a live." Yes, always happy that you are here with us. And we also got Michael Joe in the chat. Says, "Sup, Shape. How's it going, Michael Joe?"
That picture of Ryder.
But yeah, but for me, like when it comes like when I was a kid, like what scared me when I was a kid was freaking Chucky, man. That thing always, man, I was always scared of Chuck when I was a kid. I was like, man.
Yep.
My mom said this is funny. Mom, this is a quick little story. Mom was actually watching TV in the living room and stuff, and she's like, and she's kind of thinking like, what is this movie? Like, I know this movie. Like, what is it? Like, she couldn't remember what it was. And then she said, I came out of my bedroom walked right out there, looked at the TV, and started screaming like, "Turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off!" And then Mom's like, "Oh, it's Chucky."
That's funny. Like I had
How
a
convenient.
similar. It was a similar thing. You know, like when I was growing up in Georgia, I was in the hospital and being that young, you know, one of your parents had to stay with you or whatever, you know, you couldn't leave me there. And so my mom was staying with me this particular time. And I want to say it was the first one or the second one of them, you know, it was obviously in syndication, it was on TV. But back then, this is when you still had to like share rooms with people and all that stuff. Luckily, it was just us in there. But this is when the TV used to be on like that crane and you had to like pull it down to the bed. They didn't have the, you know, plasma screens and all that stuff. And so she was sitting in a chair next to the bed. I'm asleep. My mom swears up and down that she doesn't like horror movies. She hates horror movies, all this and that. Mind you, like all of the big ones throughout history she's seen, but she doesn't like horror. And she had pulled the TV, so it was like right in between like me and her. And she was sitting there kind of dozing off, and I wake up and it's just that shot of Chucky's face. And it had to be Bride because that's when he first gets all the stitches and stuff in his face. And that just terrified me. Like I'm pretty sure I screamed and she's like, "What? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like, "What's wrong with his face?" Or like, you know, whatever I said. And then from that point on, when we moved here to Missouri, Aaron, you know the Hot Topic in the mall right there by that Taco Bell. In the back, they got all the Chucky and Tiffany dolls like on the top shelf. I was always scared to go in that store because in my mind they were gonna just jump down and kill me in the back of the store. So I was like,
as a kid you don't know the difference. It's funny that you say that too. I also have a Chucky story. There was one night that I was spending the night at my friend's house in like early elementary school, and I think that we had just watched one of the Chucky movies, and then he was like, "I have a Chucky doll, right?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah." And it looked nothing like the Chucky doll, but he just pulled some random doll just to terrify me. He's just like, "It's like, this is what the real doll was based off of. We have the real doll." And I was like, "Dude, get that thing away from me."
Yeah,
I'm going home, man. See you later.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't want to sleep here. We just watched a movie of why this is a horrible idea, and you're telling me that you have the real doll? Like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, see, Shape, that's what I was saying. All of us need to get together, like you, me, Anthony, like we all got to get together. Aaron, you come too, because we're gonna need somebody for the shooting. In Boonville, we live in Missouri, so like, we live in a city called Columbia, and Boonville is like 20 miles like west of here. That's where the military academy is from Child's Play 3. And it's still there. It's still sitting there, like it's been abandoned for years, but the building is there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here's a fun fact for you. So that was basically old military academy. My boss, Jared, actually attended that school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he actually attended that school, and he actually said there's actually a room dedicated to Child's Play 3. But he said that school is kind of bad because this had a lot. He said there's been like a lot of suicide and a lot of crap in that. So
was the school closed like by the time they made the movie? No,
I think he said it was still open. Because he's only like 3 or 4 years older than I am. So he said he attended school when he was like in his teens and stuff. So I don't know. That's what he told me.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even know that it was still standing. I thought it had been, demolished or, whatever the case. And I just seen the commercial last night. I was ironing clothes that it didn't have like a date, but I guess Chucky season 3 is on the way.
Even with the strike?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if like Sci-Fi has its own writers or if Peacock has its own writers that
aren't SAG after. I don't know how that works.
Because it has to be that because it said coming soon. It looked like it was going to be. They're going to wait until the fall to air it, but like season 3 is going to be on the way. And after the way season 2 ended, like I have no idea like where they're even going to start with this.
Yeah. Haddonfield Slash says, excited for October to come around. I'm super excited for October to come around.
I agree.
Hey, I've been keeping up. I've been keeping up with damn Spirit's website. I've been keeping up on where the store's gonna be located at and when it's gonna open. And it still says coming soon. That's all it says. But see, what sucks is last year it said the exact same thing, and then like a week before it actually opened, I checked back. It says, opening soon, and I'm like, oh man, because I was really want to get in there and get what I wanted to get because I missed out a couple years before last year for that Michael Myers of the Pumpkin light up. I keep trying to get that, and those always sold out every time I went in there, right? so last year I was like, kept checking, like, when's going, kept checking, and then finally it was like, and I looked on it said open. I'm like, what? So I got in the car, took off down there, just hurry up to get that, and they actually had. Well, this time I was lucky because they had like 15 of them just sitting around everywhere. So I got this one.
You said like it randomly, so they just go to different cities like each time, like it doesn't.
Yeah, so with Spirit Halloween on their website, when you go to locations, they have listing of the stores that open around your area. Because we got Springfield, we got Pekin, Illinois, Peoria, all the places that are like somewhat further away, but the closest one for us is Springfield. So they give you listings of like all the stores located around your area that are going to be open. So wherever your guys are at, so you guys are in Missouri, all you guys do is type in, go Spirit Halloween, just type in like, hit the like location button, hit that, and then put your zip code in, and then they'll let you know exactly where the Spirit close to you is going to be opened at.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, because I think there's one here actually. Aaron, you know where the Texas Roadhouse is over there, like once you pass Pro, it's like over there. I mean, I don't know if it's a thing where it just opens just for October
seasonally. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they usually with Spirits, usually open. Some places are already open. Some places open up in August. For me, for the past years, it's always been around the beginning of September, middle of September mark where they open, and they stay open until all the way through October 31st. And of course, I think they stay open a day or two after Halloween just to get all their stuff out. And get the your discounts and stuff like that, half off, whatever. Get the stuff out, and then when that's done, then they close up. Until next year.
Okay, so it's not like because I've never been in one. Is it only like horror stuff, or it's like an actual Halloween show where if you wanted to dress up as this or that, like
it's fully Halloween. So they have pretty much anything you want there. Most of the people when they go there, they go for like the figurines, the stuff they have, like they got like Hocus Pocus stuff. They have what is it? Michael Myers stuff, Halloween stuff there. And they got trick or treat stuff there. Jason, and you get like plaques, pictures and all this kind of stuff you can hang up and everything else that they actually have there. And I mean, when it comes to costumes, it's endless with costumes. Of course, got animatronics, and when it comes to costumes, they have you want to be Apex Apex Legend, from Apex, or Master Chief, or you want to be a dinosaur, or whatever. It's basically like all the stuff rolled into one.
Oh, so it's not just like they just sell Freddy stuff and Michael Myers stuff. It's like all kind of Halloween stuff. So the figurines and the stuff that you're talking about, are those things like specific to Spirit? That's why people like go get them. Like it's made by them. Yeah, like you know, it's like the Michael Myers, the ones he's got the knife and the pumpkin and it lights up. Like that one's just strictly Spirit Halloween. They actually just released last year. They released a new Trick or Treat Sam. Basically, it's like a light up. So he's like peeking over like the pole, the light pole. But it's like just like that. But the lights up, the light lights up. So yeah, they got a whole bunch of stuff there that everybody go get. They got Beetlejuice, Not for Christmas stuff. That's only exclusive to Spirit Halloween, but also too exclusive to only Spencer's, because both Spencer's and Spirit Halloween are pretty much owned by the same company. Oh, okay.
And then they're making that stuff kind of like collectibles.
Yeah.
So is it like specific ones have this or have that? Like not all of them will carry this one Michael Myers figurine or whatever. So only the one in LA or whatever has it, or do they just like it's mass produced to all?
Yeah, so it's mass produced, so all the spirits will have them, but they only give them. So usually, majority of the time, you only give like certain amount of quantities to each store. So, like the year before, they only had 3 in stock of the Michael Myers figurine. The last year, they had like 15. So so it's always it's always going to be pick and choose of what's going to happen. So you can have. You go in there, they got a whole bunch of stuff that you want there. And sometimes you go there and like what last year. The big thing last year, where everybody was trying to get, was the bobbleheads, because he actually had Michael Myers with the bobblehead where he's like looking over the bush. So he's got the bush, the head shear, and he's kind of standing on the side. That's one of the bobbleheads that they released. When I went to Spirit to look for it, it was some guy grabbed the last one. I was like, damn. But for me, I was lucky. I ordered from Spirit. That's another thing too. You can actually order. So if you can't find stuff in the store, you can always order it off of spirit.com, spirithalloween.com. So you can order that stuff and just get sent to you. That way you don't worry about trying to find it in the store and everything else. You just order offline. Then like, oh, I got it.
And they sell year round on the website.
Yeah, they sell you all year on the website. Yeah,
you have to do that for the Halloween costumes.
Do you have how you have like the big, like, I guess, mannequins of of Michael, of Ghostface, of these characters? They sell that stuff at Spirit too?
No.
Or
no, the only thing they sell at Spirit for any like stuff like that would be like their animatronics. I haven't seen no Michael ones the past couple years. I have not seen no Michael ones now. I do know Party City still sells their Michael Myers one at Party City, the animatronic. But like when it comes to like life size, like stuff like one I got in my bedroom, that's all done by me. I bought the mannequin, I stuffed him up, make him look a little bit bigger. And I mean, because the mannequin I got was like a pencil size. I mean, when I put the covers on, it was like a droopy, so the covers were so big on him. So I had to basically pack him up, wrap the legs around, make his legs thicker, make his body thicker, and then make him to where I wanted, how I like him. And like I said, the hands, I cut the hands off. I replaced them with other hands to make it look more realistic. I got a knife, I got the boots, and then of course I got the coveralls, and the coveralls are from Trick or Treat Studios, the 18 coveralls, and of course I got my rehaul mask done by Chandler Matt over on Instagram. He's one hell of a rehaul artist. I got the 18 mask from him, and I put that on there to make him look in a way realistic. And also I got the eye inserts from, I think it's a horror shop. He's on Etsy, but he's also on Instagram too. But he actually makes like the eye inserts to where you got the dead eye and everything. He actually makes all that, so I got that put in there to give him the eyes and stuff. So
I'm not gonna lie, it'd be cool to have one of those of like I have yet to see one of Candyman, so that'd be kind of cool to see with he's got the big coat on, and then you just see the hook kind of hanging out of the sleeve, just barely, Like I think that would be kind of cool.
I'll tell you what though, when it comes to like doing your actually making life size of your own, that is some time consuming stuff. For me, I'm like a perfectionist, and Mr. Shape already knows I want everything to the T. On every single thing. When it comes to the boots or the coveralls, the coveralls are from Trick or Treat Studios. The boots I got from Walmart for like $20. Just something to put on them. I mean, overall, I actually had to take time and effort to make sure he gets the thickness in there. He's not looking like a little pencil, like a little skinny guy. Did everything. That's time. I'd be spending 3, 4, 5, even 6 hours trying to get him the way I wanted to, So anybody out there who actually makes their own life size and actually, gets the costumes, gets the mask or anything like that, and try to do everything themselves, it is very, very time consuming. And sometimes it gets frustrating too, because you be there, and of course you're trying to put them back together, and the leg falls off, and you got to reattach the leg, and then the arm pops off, and it's like, oh my god, and you're just going back and forth. It's a hassle.
And then I think that would be even creepier if you had like an animatronic one where it starts moving just because you got close to it or whatever. You have the same thought that I have. It's bad enough having just a life size mannequin
in your house, and it's like something that you just almost like subconsciously like fight on sight. Like if you had to go down or into your kitchen in the middle of the night and just see it, like, oh my god.
Because I've definitely had those moments where I've been on the bed and I've woken up and looked up and seen that poster of the Joker and just like, oh, just what the hell? Like, just I know it's there. I know, but just that immediate shock waking up, and that's the first thing I saw.
Your mind plays tricks on you. You see a coat in your closet and you're like, nope.
Oh, see, I'm different because I already know he's there. So when I wake up, I go over and be like,
but like those
sleep, so
like, thanks, Michael.
But the thing is, like I said, if you, like I said, I believe Donnie's seen my whole Michael Myers room I have, where I got the masks from each movie on the wall and everything else, and I got my life size in the corner. But I always get crap from everybody, especially from guys at work. You know, it's like, you like Halloween, so yeah, you gotta see my bedroom. You know, so here's my bedroom. You know, like, oh my god, I couldn't do that. Oh my god, I'll be shooting in the middle of the night. Or, they all go crazy. Like, are you a serial killer? It's like, why? It's like, why do I have to be a serial killer to like horror?
To be a fan
like
of horror,
Halloween and Michael Myers? Why I gotta be a serial killer? Like,
It's the same thing if somebody collected sports jerseys or had all kinds of stuff.
I was thinking it would be cool to do like make one of those of like superheroes. That would look really cool. Because I was thinking one that would just be dope, just like the life size of it would be Black Manta. Like just because it not that he's a horror character, but just the way that it looks, that would be cool to see. Like because
he's certainly like a menacing villain.
And the odds are you're probably not going to be standing on the set when they're filming that scene with him in the suit. So, that's probably the next closest thing you're going to get. But I'm just like you though, Aaron. Just wake up like, nope. It was in the corner and now it's over here. What the hell? What is that? Like,
even though like you moved it, like I don't remember that.
Exactly.
Well, Mrs. Shape got spooked by Michael because when I was actually living in the apartment. So I usually have all the stuff in the bedroom, but then I end up taking everything out of the bedroom and putting in the living room. So where I had Michael set up in the living room was right a corner from so here's Michael here, and then here's the bathroom here, and the mirror's like right there. So Mrs. Shays brushed her teeth and she looked up. There's Michael, standing in the background. She's like, "Oh my god!" Got scared. It's like someone's actually back there. You know what I mean?
And it would have been. I mean, and got lucky that he didn't like punch out the light in the bathroom because it could have been way worse. Like you said that you have all the masks, and I know that last stream that I was on, you had one on. I'm not sure like from which movie that was from. But...
Yeah, so I actually have two. I have two Halloween Kills rehaul masks. One I got from Chandler Matt that I have hanging up on the wall. The second one I got is from Kid Zombie FX. I got a mask and that's kind of mainly the mask I mainly use for like my cosplay and stuff and do my video stuff with or photos. That's mainly when I use if I do the Halloween Kills, Ty Michael Myers. But I have every single mask at Halloween 78. I even got the Boogeyman mask. Pretty much they're all from Trick or Treat Studios. So I got the 78 that I have on top of the bookcase because I got a special stand for that one. And then of course I got the 78, the Boogeyman mask above the 78 poster, and I got the Halloween 2 mask above the Halloween 2 poster, and so forth. So I have pretty much all the masks from each film all on the wall. So the only two I don't have at the moment is I don't have the Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2, but Todd's already releasing those. Really releasing this September. They're on pre-order right now, so that might be a get to where I get the posters. So I'll just get the hooks and then put them on the hooks and then put the poster underneath them. I just gotta find a place to put them because you guys see if you anybody see my bedroom, they already know I'm running totally out of
it. Yeah, me too.
But I mean, when it comes to I do have all the Halloween masks. I have exactly. So I have 4 rehaul masks. I have 2 rehaul ones. One actually got off eBay. It was in 2018. I got pretty much back in 2019. I got so. That one's been with me forever. He was actually on my life-size mannequin before I got the new one from Chandler Matt. and then I also had the Kills from Chandler Matt that I said I have hang on the wall. And then, of course, the 18 one that Chandler Matt did. I got the one that, of course, I got the Kid Zombie FX. So I have 4 rehaul masks total. And I'm trying to save some money because we're going on a trip in October, going to Scarefest. So I'm really trying to save money because I know at some point in time I really want him to do me a Halloween Ends rehaul mask, so that way I'll have the complete collection, the trilogy collection of Chandler Matt's rehaul ones.
Where's Scarefest?
Scarefest is not October 20th to the 21st, I believe.
Where's it gonna be?
It's gonna be Kentucky. I think it's Lexington, Kentucky.
Is it in? So it's in a different city like every year.
I think so. But I'm not 100% sure because this actually, again, I never been to any conventions, so this is actually the first one that I'll be going to.
Oh, word! Like, so then, what do you think about the Aaron? You've seen Halloween 5, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of of the mask from that one. You said that you have all of them, but that one I feel like is the one that gets like the most criticism.
That sucks.
It, I wasn't gonna say that, right? But there's that one shot of I can't remember exactly what they're doing, but like Loomis is standing there next to him, and I think he's got the 2x4 in his hand or whatever it was, and Michael's standing there with the knife, and he's like looking off into space, and Loomis is standing there next to him.
He looks off into space because he looks like a freaking alien with a mask on. He doesn't
like, dude. I don't
like
understand why they did him so dirty with that mask. It looks so strange, and I feel like the best masks with him are the ones where like you can't see his eyes. And then, Halloween 2, Halloween 5, you know what I mean? You can see his eyes straight. That's not menacing, but I think it's even creepier when you just see like the dark circles.
Now you really, and the way you really didn't see is, I mean, so with Halloween 78, Halloween 4, 5, I mean, you kind of somewhat see his eyes in Halloween 6. Then, of course, Halloween H2O, you see his eyes, and Halloween Resurrection, you see his eyes. And, of course, Rob Zombie's Halloween, you see his eyes. But when it comes mainly down to it, it's pretty much 78, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween, somewhat Halloween 18, Kills, and Ends. You really don't see his eyes. But I mean, you do when they do close up, especially when he grabs Corey and like to have an eye to eye moment.
That's what I mean.
Eyes, but
that's what I mean. That beyond that, it's not just like you don't see it all the time.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of what makes it like even creepier. To me, especially like I said, the original one, aside from when she stabbed him with the hanger when they're fighting like in the closet, you wouldn't really you didn't see anything but just the hole, and then I think H2O and Resurrection had like they had the whole CGI thing, so I don't know how much is real mask, how much is just
CGI. The CGI was only in H2O.
Oh, okay. So
it was in the kitchen scene where the kid from Jumanji is in there. And then you see that's what had the CGI mask. Yeah. That's one time you've seen it.
Interesting. It's only that scene. I feel like that there's that one scene. You guys, where he just he lowers himself down from I don't know the balcony, whatever the hell he's holding on to,
like pipe thing,
and he lowers himself down behind Jamie Lee Curtis. There's like a shot of his face where I felt like the mask didn't look like an actual mask that he had on. It looked like CGI, but
those 3 masks used in that movie plus the CGI was kind of like 4, I guess, in a way. Because the beginning scene, so the opening kill scene, pretty much, he's actually wearing the Halloween 6 mask. And then they have another mask called the K&B mask, where it looks kind of off a little bit. Then you have the CGI mask, but then you have the main mask that you see more often in the movie, which is the H2O mask.
So what was the purpose of going with the CGI thing rather than just have a practical mask?
So what I heard was with the CGI one, I think they were like they couldn't read. So what it is, they couldn't redo the shot, so they actually had to go with the CGI to put it on there because they said they couldn't redo the shot. And of course,
so they had to do something with continuity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were, I guess they were at a time and they were going back and editing and stuff like that, so they couldn't go back and refilm that scene. So they just pretty much, because they actually had the K&B mask on him instead of the actual H2O mask we mainly see. So they just kind of, did the visual effects on it.
So because I missed the stream because I had gotten sick and everything, what was your consensus or what did you and Brittany say about Halloween Ends? I know that she wasn't a fan, at least.
We said it was great. Best Halloween movie ever made.
Now, somehow I don't believe that, but but I didn't hear what you guys actual thought. What's your gripe with it? Is just there's too much of it about Corey, not enough of it about Michael Myers, or what do you just? Of course, I don't think anybody's gonna say it's the best. It'd be crazy to say it's the best. But
well, for me with Halloween Ends, as I said plenty of times, it's just. For me, you have this hyped up, right, with 18 and kills. Evil Dies Tonight. How Laurie, trained herself, trained her daughter, and basically like a hermit, waiting for Michael Myers to come out, right, and all this stuff like that. And especially in Kills, I'm coming after you, Michael, after you just killed my daughter. I'm coming after you, and all this stuff here. And then we get to ends, and then she's like, you know what? I'm just going to live a normal life. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
This, again, it takes place 4 years later, but at the same time, it's just there was nothing to it with her character. I'm gonna write a book about Michael Myers. No, that it didn't make any sense. You hyped her up for this moment for Halloween Ends. You hyped her up in 18 and kills to fight Michael Myers, and hyped her up to to stop the boogeyman. Right? Then you had Allison, same thing. Allison was on board with Laurie to go and destroy the boogeyman. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Allison was just so different in this one too. Like I'm gonna fall in love with this guy I just met. In 5 minutes. No, that doesn't work that way. And then it's just with their chemistry now. Okay, now when it came to Corey, I really understood Corey's tragic because again, it made it more like a psychological film in a way, like psychological horror, in my opinion, because Michael Myers is a curse of Haddonfield. He's a curse. He portrayed. Everybody's going crazy and killing because the evil's still out there, right? And then of course the phrase in Halloween Ends, "Evil doesn't die." It just changes shape, So Corey becomes the new Michael because after what happened with the accident with the kid, then everybody's saying, "Oh, he's a new boogeyman. He's a new Michael Myers. He's a kid killer." Yada 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 yada. But at the same time, for me, if Corey would have came in before, like maybe came in like in kills or like established in 18, I kind of see it. But again, you still have the basically like in a way the beginning of Ends where you see how Corey was a good kid, everything else, and of course the accident happened. But again, it's kind of similar to Christine as David Marie put it, Christine, right? The car is evil and it starts corrupting Arnie, right? Same thing with Corey with Michael. They have that connection, I guess, and everything else. But in my opinion, in a way they should have done something different with Corey. And to me, they should have more of like Allison and Laurie trying to, find Michael, destroy him, destroy the evil, whatever. But at the same time, when it came to Corey, in my opinion, I think they kind of missed the mark on Corey because, I know everybody's going to have their take on Corey. We don't want Corey to be Michael Myers. We always want to have one Michael Myers in the movie. We don't want nobody new to put on the mask, right? But in my opinion, that would have been way better, in my opinion, because again, Michael Myers is already like 60-some years old, 65, 66 years old. So, he's already battered and broken, but still, now you have this new young blood coming on the ranks, Corey coming through, becoming the new Michael Myers. Now, if they would have done something with him to where like maybe at the end of the movie that, they came back after they just, killed Michael and incinerated him. They come back to the house. Corey's body's gone. Now, that would kind of let the doors open for, something more new. But, of course, we all aren't going to want that. We don't want, somebody else put on the mask and, being what are we going to do? We're going to do Halloween, The Curse of Corey Cunningham.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't ring no bell. So, in a way...
And see, that's the thing too. I don't feel like I don't know what the point is. Like, I don't know why they keep feeling like movies have to be trilogies or whatever. Like, you can't just make like one heavy hitter and then get out. Well, Halloween 18 was great, and then they could have lifted it.
The thing is, what in my opinion, what fucked up this trilogy was COVID. That's to me, in my opinion, that's what fucked the trilogy up, because Halloween 18 Kills and Ends was all supposed to take place in one night.
Interesting.
That's what was originally intended to do. But when COVID happened, they went back and rewrote Ends because they already had kills already wrote down before Ends. So that's why. But then after, I said, when COVID happened, of course they released Halloween Kills, a year later, and then they went to the drawing board with Ends and said, hey, well, let's do something different with Ends. Let's do this instead. So in my opinion, that's what kind of killed Ends was.
So,
COVID.
do you know, did the first drafts not have Corey in it at all then? And that was something that was added later in like rewrites? Or that was always supposed to be like the sub story?
See, I don't know, because I said if Halloween 18 Kills Animals all supposed to take place in one night, there's no room for Corey.
Right.
Yeah.
There'll be no accident, killing a kid, or no story, nothing like that, because it's all supposed to take place in one night. So he would never be in the picture. But when they went back to the drawing board, and David McGree said perfectly, from himself, he said he wanted to have a love story, and he wanted to have some little twist there, and that's what he got. He got his little love story with Allison and Corey, the little love story. I guess a little Lost Boys type thing, will. And of course, you got a psychological, horror thriller, with Christine putting in with Halloween. So I mean, again, you can't take two like horror, in a way, horror genres and mix them together. It sometimes doesn't work. That's what.
And just make a dope Christine remake.
Yeah, and it's my opinion, because like with Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie, like the first Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. I actually didn't mind it. I don't like the backstory. I don't like how Michael Myers was actually an actual serial killer. Because he started killing because he was raised in shitty ass household. I didn't care for that. But I mean, the rest of the movie was kind of on point to the original 78 somewhat. But then when you get to Halloween 2, it was like, okay, well, Michael Myers sees mommy. He sees mommy all the time. Mommy goes.
No. Flag on the play. Rob Zombie was just on industrial strength drugs when he made the second. That's all that happened. Don't try to defend it. Wait.
When you see Michael see his mommy, right? Who do you think of when you see that scene? I don't see Michael. I see Jason. Right? Because Jason's the only one with mommy issues.
Yeah, that's also true.
But so when I see those scenes with mommy and the white person bullshit, and of course the baby Myers, the little kid Myers and the big Myers, together, I see Jason.
Yeah,
not Mike Myers. I see Jason.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Rob Zombie wasn't still baked out of his mind when he did.
But again. But the thing is, I mean, his wife died the first one, so she had to come back somehow. He's got to put her in the movie somehow.
Yeah, like, look, man, that shit pissed me off so bad that like I don't even play Rob Zombie's songs when I go back and play Guitar Hero. Like that's how bad I thought. I just don't care for that at all. Versus like the was it 09 Friday the 13th? I like that joint. Like I'll sit down and watch that joint. Like
seeing Jason run and then throw a freaking axe.
And that was rated. It was PG-13, right? It wasn't R, right? Because I remember hearing something about. Well, I thought there was something about with the rating where, like, I think they redid the thing with the sleeping bag, and like when he swung it and hit it up against the tree. They could only do like one swing. Like he was gonna keep swinging, but it was gonna make it like an R rating or something, I believe, and that's why it only was one hit, and then he had to drop the bag for them to keep the PG-13 rating. I believe. I
could have sworn the 09 was rated R because they like depicted a woman like burning alive in a sleeping bag too, and that was wild to watch.
There was a lot of nudity in there too.
There was something. Yeah. There was something about the rating, because like why would that be a problem then if it was rated R?
Maybe they had like a PG-13 cut or something like that. That wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe, and then some of the kills are like, it changes the rating, like how graphic the kills are, and there was that. It is R.
It's rated R.
The one thing that had me like bugged out, like when did Jason do archery? But when he hit dude in the boat, I was in tears. Like every time I see that, I'm dying laughing. I don't know why, but
you know what? What I do like about the 2009's Jason is he actually made it more smarter.
Yeah. They made him like tactile, like Hunter or something like that.
Yeah, than he was the other ones. You know what I mean? And that's why I kind of like. You got Jason in the other films. He's kind of like or a zombie walking through water and get electrocuted and all this like that. But this one here like knew his stuff. especially when they were hiding underneath the kayaks.
He had the little trip.
And he kind of like stopped and looked.
Just like, yep.
And then he went over there and started tearing up the kayaks off. Like he knew, hey, I'm not done.
And when he stabbed right through the boards of the there was the boardwalk out to the water, and the chick was hiding underneath it. And it's all quiet.
Oh man!
And it was so sudden too. It's quiet. She's on there like looking around, and he's on top, just kind of looking around. And then boom, you just see the machete. And but Aaron, I can't remember. Did we watch Halloween Ends together?
Yeah, we did. I remember because my favorite kill in that movie. Like you looked over to me, and I was like,
the something in the junkyard.
Yeah, that blowtorch scene, dude. Oh my god, that was wild.
And we got some people on Joe come behind chat real quick. Michael Joe has some stuff he says. First one, he says, I want to see Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, get a sequel. I would kind of see that too. He also says Halloween ends is garbage. He also says that they should do Halloween Regeneration.
Wait, I got a problem with that because if you're gonna say I agree with that statement right there, Corey as Michael, I agree with that. I also thought it was stupid how Allison came in and saw him on the ground and her grandmother's over on the stairs and immediately, why did you stab him? Like, really?
I'll tell you why.
You thought
want me to tell you why? Because they were in love. Love blinds you. It just blinds you.
It conquers all.
I'm not saying that it doesn't. Being blind and being mentally handicapped, I'll say it that way, are two completely different things. Like but if you're gonna say Halloween Ends is garbage, I mean that curse is up there. Like
I was gonna say the curses of thorns and stuff like that. Oh my goodness.
Anthony!
Jacques Corns chat said, yo, what's up, fam? He also said, he got a couple things too. He says, Jason was a man of the land. He knew his territory.
Yep.
He also says, Halloween, amen, Michael Joe, Ends was trash.
No, see, this is what I think. I think what a lot of people's issue with it is, other than Corey took up all the fucking running time, two issues is that, one, he went in there and gave Michael Myers the Batista spine buster, and two,
no, he didn't.
Yes, he did. And
no,
then he gave him the Batista.
Okay, you know what? No, you need to rewatch that scene. I watched the scene plenty of times. I'm like, you know what? There's no way that Corey freaking just dropped Michael like that. And you literally see when they're tussling, Michael actually slipped. You can see his leg get caught from underneath him, and Michael actually slipped backwards and fell down. So Corey did not take Michael down, because you see Michael just throw him constantly back and forth during that scene. And then all of a sudden, when you see him get close to her, Michael, because when they come to the end, Michael actually tripped. Michael actually tripped and slipped back and fell down. That's
how. But see, if somebody's not watching it as closely as that, they just see it as him power slamming him. But also, that's how pro wrestling works. Like, I help you do the move. Like, I don't resist you doing the move, or that's how injuries happen. But also, the fact that he will agree to disagree. But the fact that he died, I think, is what a lot of people they can't get it through their head that he was 60 years old and, infection and probably ran rampant through his body.
Yeah, but
he didn't run into the hospital like, hey, I'm Michael Myers, a serial killer. Can you please fix these gunshot wounds? And I got my fingers blown off and all that.
See, that's what the problem. That's what problem lies with David Moore Green, because he stated that Michael Myers is not supernatural, but he can go above and beyond what a normal man can do, right? Mm-hmm. But we see all this shit happen to him in Kills. This unstoppable killing machine, in a way. Took out firefighters, took out a whole goddamn mob, everything else, right?
Got sprayed.
Just 4 years later,
But so you don't think 4 years is enough time for infection to set in?
I mean, maybe infection set in, but not for Michael Myers. I mean, come on. There's no way. Okay, like if one of us I said, because I'm a big dude, right? I mean, I can take a lot of punishment, but there's no way I can take, what happened in the first one? Get hit in the face with a crowbar, right? Get shot in the shoulder, get ran over at full speed, right?
Fingers blown off.
Fingers blown off, getting hit by a frying pan, getting shot in the jaw, almost set on fire, inhaling all that smoke from the fire, right? Walk out, get hit in the back with, all this other stuff, right, that the firefighters did, right? Still walk out, right? Not only that, get hit in the face with bricks, with a sack of bricks, and then keep moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, get into the mob scene, get lit up by the mob guy with the gun, getting shot, boom, 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 boom. Get this shit kicked out of him. And not only that, get a damn pitchfork in the spine, at the back, and get stabbed dead center in the back of the neck, and still get up and take out the mob? No.
No, what?
Tell me one of us is going to be able to do that. No.
We're not. No.
So this is what I'm saying. That David Gordon Green said he was not supernatural, but he can go above and beyond what a normal mortal man can do, right? And in a way, he established supernatural tendencies. Because there's no way
that doesn't mean that
all that. And then tell me that Michael Myers gets takes out by some infections, COVID.
That doesn't mean that health effects wouldn't affect him. Like, it doesn't bypass him. What? But
still, you already said this man as this Michael Myers is killing machine that cannot be stopped. And 4 years later, he's supernatural.
But again, doesn't mean that he's supernatural, though. There are athletes that can take ridiculous amounts of punishment before they'll have a break or a tear and have to go get surgery. Whereas somebody else, first time it happens to him, boom, torn ACL, got to go have surgery. That doesn't mean that he couldn't absorb a lot of punishment, but that doesn't take away the fact that health is a real thing. Like, and he's living down in the sewers and all that stuff, and he's got his fingers. We're talking about open wounds, man. Yeah, I deal with wait. I deal with like open wounds on my body, like on my legs, as we speak. Like, I cannot let that get infected, because not only could that kill me, but then I could lose my legs, whatever. You're telling me he's walking around and he's down there and he's touching all this stuff, and it's been 4 years and nothing has set in? That, like, there's no way.
But hang on. But here's where the supernatural part does kick in a way. Especially when he's like fighting, the cop, right? The Mulaney, right? The Mulaney guy. Yeah. The Mulaney guy gets the advantage and kicks Michael down. Michael's like, all this frail. He's like, and he's dragging himself to go over there to kill him, right?
Yeah.
The minute he stabs him, it's so slow. It's like, oh man, I stabbed him. That took a lot out of me, right? But then come back up, and then the stabbing gets faster and faster and faster, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden he's like, right? Yeah. He gets up and he's like standing straight up, and then boom, and now he's going out and doing stuff. Then you get the supernatural part, especially what is already said in how he kills. The more he kills, the more he transcends. So.
But the way, like, the analogy that you can put with that is just like when a boxer, excuse me, thinks he's about to get a knockout, and he starts throwing more punches faster, more vicious to get the knockout. I mean, it goes hand in hand with what he's doing. It's like, but that doesn't mean he's supernatural. To me, you can't tiptoe the line.
Yeah, but it's also a horror movie, so I mean, like, it's never gonna be one straight up perfect, because I mean, we in what, Halloween 2, Jamie Lee Curtis shoots Michael essentially in the head. That's where the blood tears come from, right? And it's like, okay, that dude would have been dead twice over, but
yeah,
horror movie. It was an amazing image to see Michael with blood tears and stuff like that. But,
yeah, no doubt, because I mean, like, I do, like, recognize that, but that's part of my thing is you got people like Shape who can't let go of the fact that Michael can't just be a mortal man in his 60s, and just die. But I felt like I told you, Aaron, I felt like it was resolved. Like it ain't no retcon. Oh, he switched clothes with somebody and then he crushed his larynx and all
He
that.
did switch clothes. Switch clothes, Corey.
Like that's whack. That you talking about garbage? That is garbage with the little accent over the E, because it just felt resolved. Now, for him to be all of this, and he's killed, so he's transcended, and he's kind of got his power back, and you can say that. But then for him to go into the kitchen and then just basically get his ass whooped real quick, I don't know about all that, but it kind of, it doesn't make sense. It's like he's taking out these people, and maybe just Lori is just his kryptonite. He just can't seem to to get it done against her. It could just be that. But
it was in the contract.
What'd you say?
It was in the contract.
Yeah, she just whooped his ass a little too quickly. I thought that fight scene would have been longer.
No, but especially when Michael had his foot on her damn throat. Yeah, there was no way she was able to come back from that one, because you see Michael stomp a guy's head and basically exploded it.
Yeah,
you tell me Michael stomped on her throat and then crushed it?
Not to mention that scene when he ripped his hand out of the knife. Yeah, the knife was in his hand. He just ripped that. I was like, dude, if he's doing all of that, then he shouldn't be getting his ass whooped, should he?
And that's kind of like what Shape was saying. It's like they made Jamie Lee Curtis's character. They tried to make Lori into not Laura Hamilton. Geez, Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2, straight up ready to murk this guy. And it's like, I'm going to publish a book.
But again,
Lori, are you going to publish a book on how to kill him?
That's the thing. Michael and Lori are on the same age.
Yeah.
I think Michael's maybe a couple years. Well, no, actually,
I
think Michael's like 5. No, Michael's like 3 or I think 3 years older than Lori, because Michael was 21 or 22 in Halloween '78.
And she's always gotten the thing that she's always gotten her wounds tended to. She never let them get infected and go live in the sewer, though.
Do you think it would have been better if they maybe had a scene where he just raids an ambulance or something like that? Because he did live in some kind of mental institution. He probably had some kind of
and
he learned how to drive.
And that's the thing. Michael is definitely smarter than what people seem to give him credit for. He's not stupid. He
did wrap up his own hand.
And it's something he knows. But I think what Aaron meant is just seeing it might make it a little bit more okay, so at least he's trying to take care and manage what's going on, And I think that with him, he's a lot smarter than what he gets credit. The way he stalks, the way he moves, the way he does.
It's kind of like how we were talking about with Jason.
Oh, he's a mental patient, so he's stupid. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's kind of like how we were talking about Jason. Michael knows Haddonfield like the back of his hand, so Jason knows Camp Crystal Lake.
And it's just cool to see, But I just felt like him dying, but it being for real, it just felt resolute. And that's what I wanted with Halloween. And it's just for that trilogy, though. We're not saying Michael's going to be dead and gone forever. They're never going to make another Halloween. There's too much money on the table for them not to make another one somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
But I heard Cherry. But
that's Petunia, but
you have the you have more than one dog?
Yeah, my brother-in-law's dog.
Oh, I didn't know that you had more than one dog. Never tell me anything. But it just felt like an end to it, kind of like in Candyman 2, when you find out why the mirror is used to summon him. You find out that it's when the clan killed him. They smeared they went to the apiary and they smashed the honeycomb and they smeared that honey all over him, so the bees started stinging him thinking he was trying to steal the honey, and they cut off his right hand and they jabbed the hook in there, and then they held a mirror up to his face so he could see what he looked like as he was getting ready to die. That's why his soul got trapped in the mirror. But at the end of Candyman 2, they shatter the mirror, thus ending. The original mirror, it was an heirloom from the girl. She's an ancestor. She's a descendant of the family whose mirror it was, so she still had it. And she breaks it, thus ending the whole Candyman thing. Like, but it explained, and there was a resolution to it. It wasn't just random shit happening for 2 hours, you know, without it coming to an end. And that's always been my thing is, how are we ending it? Like that. That's such an Anthony thing to say. Anthony, stop trolling us. Like,
I saw one of his earlier comments that said it was the power of the Shamrock mask, and that that was funny.
and then too with Curse, I've tried many times to watch this film.
Okay, now you know what? When it comes to Halloween 6, I enjoy Halloween 6 because, as I say plenty of times, that Halloween 6, I get the Halloween feel. You know, especially when they're in the house, you see the houses, you see the streets, you see it looks like a fall type feel because you get that fall type because you get the leaves falling down. It looks like it's cold outside because everybody's wearing sweaters and hoodies and stuff, and you get that feel. And for me, and then of course because again I live in Illinois, so you have the atmosphere, like the barns, also that where Jamie Lloyd was running in and all this stuff, right? Now, does Halloween 6 have its flaws? Yeah, but I still enjoy the movie for what it is, and I should enjoy it because in a way this was Donald Pleasant's last performance as Dr. Loomis. And I mean,
wait, what'd you say about Dr. Loomis? I'm lagging on this end. Hold on.
Oh, it was Donald Pleasant's last performance as Dr. Loomis. His last performance.
Yeah.
So he always delivered too, which is wild.
Yeah, but you also get, and it kind of ties things together. But also too, you kind of also too which I enjoy in movies like that is like the lore and stuff, right? The Cult of Thorn. How. Tommy Doyle's going through, hey, every family, like one family is chosen, one kid is chosen, they, have the curse of thorn. So that way they kills his family, and then the crops and everything else be, okay and safe. And so you also have that lore too, which I do kind of enjoy. But I mean, yeah, it does have its flaws. I mean, everybody keeps, throwing out the whole Jamie Lloyd and Michael Myers, incest there and everything else. But again, I mean,
that was a thing, though. It did happen.
I mean, wait, did it happen, though? Did it happen?
Did it?
Because, I mean, okay, but see, the thing is as me, I like to look closely at everything in the movie, like look closely, like Michael Myers.
That's because you're rooting for Michael, though. Like,
but hang on. So when you see them in the hospital, right, where they're trying to escape Michael, whatever, and what's her face? She looks over, and you see like these little fetuses. In like little test tube things.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
So you mean to tell me that they didn't get some Michael's blood or DNA and stuff and try to recreate some stuff, or maybe made their thing and then maybe insert it into Jamie to where she became pregnant with.
So when would he have sat down and just volunteered for that?
I mean, okay, honestly, he just stands there. When they're baby, he's just sitting there like this.
That looks ridiculous the way he's
watching.
There.
So they had to get it from somehow, right? I mean, if he's just standing there, like, hey, Michael, I want to take some blood off you real quick.
Or maybe if 4, 5, and 6 are like within that, I was like, he was in what some kind of cove for over a year, so somebody could have maybe gotten that blood then. That
was going into that's beginning of 5, right? I think because remember he got lit up by the cops at the end of 4, and that should have killed him.
Yeah, because he went down everyone else and escaped, and he went down the river. And then he went to see this old hermit, and he's going to kill him, but he kind of collapsed and fainted, and then he was passed out. He was basically in a coma for a whole year until
in a coma for a whole year until Halloween comes, and then he magically wakes up with the Cult of Thorn tattoo all of a sudden. He was getting his ass lit up with 12 gauges, bro. He was dead. Come the fuck on with that.
That's just like you said, it's too much of a cash cow for them to from an actual.
Yeah, come on though. Before that, he got both eyes shot out.
Yep.
And blown up and set on fire. And he came back.
But is Halloween 2 connected to 4? I thought
Yep.
4, 5, 6 supposed to be its own story.
No.
1, 2 is its own story.
No, it goes. Here. I'll do it again for you guys. Here's a timeline, right? So you have Halloween 2. Then you have Halloween 2, Halloween 4, 5, Halloween 6. Then you got Halloween 2, H2O, and Resurrection. And then you got the Rob Zombie ones with his own timeline. You got Halloween 3, own timeline. And then you have the new timeline. Halloween 78, Halloween 18, Kills and Ends. So that's like 5 timelines right there.
Feels like X-Men all over again.
It really does. Except for I don't know.
Yeah, but Halloween 4 takes place after Halloween 2. Because that's why in Halloween 4 you see Dr. Loomis with that burned side of his face.
Right.
And Michael's all like bandaged up because of his burns.
Then, do you think that had Donald Pleasance lived, because I know he died like in the middle, or they weren't quite done with it, whatever it was when he did die. Do you think had he got to finish the movie that it could have changed the direction of how it looked? Because I feel like is Dr. Wynn, I think him being like that, like he's revealed to be like the Man in Black and all this shit. Like this is the guy that's being revealed. We saw him in one scene one other time before this, and now he's the mastermind behind all of this. It just feels like a cop out. Yeah, like he was doing pretty well last night. That's what I'm saying. You see the nigga in one scene, and then we're supposed to believe that he was behind all of this. It does not make any sense. Like what Aaron said, X-Men Days of Future Past does not make any sense whatsoever. And like I don't get it. But do you think? Because I know there's like is it a director's cut or what is it? There's like a
the
producer's cut. Like I know that one is a little different. There's the one end where
because so basically like even Tommy Doyle traps Michael in this like circle of pebbles
of stones, yeah,
and traps Michael. Michael just stands there, and then not only that, Michael actually switches clothes with Wynn. And then when Dr. Loomis came and was like, he's now it's you, and then Dr. Loomis got the cult of the curse of thorn mark on his wrist, and then he's like, and then you see Michael with Wynn's outfit on the hat. He just turns and looks. So you see his side profile, and then he just walks off.
That doesn't make sense though, or maybe I just missed it. If he just got shot by Mr. Freeze's gun and he's just standing there, then how was he able to get free and move to switch shit with Wynn?
Because Michael Myers because Wynn actually came in. You see Wynn come in,
right?
And he must have done something to get Michael free, and then that because it was a cutoff shot. You see Wynn come through, and it was a cutoff shot.
Isn't he? Because when he's laying on the ground, isn't he laying in the same circle of rocks?
Yeah, he's there. So yeah, no, I don't think so. I can't remember. I seen the producer's cut once, but I do think the producer's cut is on Paramount Plus.
That is the producer's cut then, with where like Michael changed clothes with Wynn, and it shows up on Loomis's. That's the producer's cut.
I believe so. Yes, it's producer's cut. Yeah, because the cut that we all got, not the producer's cut, the cut we all got was Michael chasing them, and of course Tommy injects him with that green stuff, and then he's beating them to a pulp, and then and then that's when at the end of the movie, Tommy and them are leaving, and he tells Loomis, "Hey, come with us." He goes, "Nope, I gotta stay here and make sure it's finished." And then they drove off, and then later on, it pans to the mask, and you hear Loomis's screams in the background, and you just see the mask just laying there on the ground with no Michael.
So that was Michael killing him then?
Yes, that's what's supposed to happen in a way, I guess. We just never know.
So then why was he bleeding green blood? Like,
because he was injected with the green ooze. I guess it's like portraying out of his body in a way. If it's like poison ooze, whatever, I mean, it's probably like coming out of his body and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar to you guys ever seen the TV show Teen Wolf?
I haven't.
I
Okay,
heard
so
good things, but I haven't seen it.
so with the TV show Teen Wolf, so pretty much this one character, he's like pretty much like a bad guy, but he's basically he had cancer. He's like one of the like big werewolf hunters, whatever. But he ended up getting cancer, but he wanted to become a werewolf to cure cancer. Well, Scott actually took his cancer pills and put mountain ash in. Now, when it comes to mountain ash, no supernatural creature can cross mountain ash. So if you put a circle around you of mountain ash, no supernatural creature can penetrate it. Just like with supernatural, when you put salt around you, no ghost go through salt, right? Similar concept. Well, so he put mountain ash in his pills, so he's been taking those pills. So when Derek bit his arm and he became werewolf, you see like black ooze started coming out of the bite. And then he started projectiling black ooze because of the mountain ash. Because the body was rejecting with the mountain ash and the bite of the werewolf, it was counterbalancing each other. So it was basically making him pretty much.
It's one thing for it to be only that substance. It's another thing for it to be that mixed with blood, though. And the way you described it, the first thing I thought of is the anti-sea bear circle from SpongeBob. Like when they drew the circle in the ground and like it was gonna keep the sea bear from attacking them.
Yeah.
But that said, though, that's my thing. Is of course there's different directors over different times, so everybody has different ideas and all this and that. But I want to know, Aaron, what is your like favorite? If you've seen all of them, I don't know if you've seen Halloween 3. Obviously, that doesn't have anything to do with Michael, but
I have.
I don't know what your favorite. I remember the first time I saw Halloween 3, I was like an hour in, and I was like, "Where the fuck is he?" Like, and then my homeboy Sam was like, "Yeah, Michael's not in that one." And I was like, "Well, I was hot as fish grease." But what is your favorite Halloween?
I think that like the mask isn't all that great, but 4 just because of Jamie Lloyd and how that I will never forget like Dr. Loomis like seeing that and just go, no.
Oh, at the end, yeah.
Oh my god, that
which
gives me chills every time that I see that.
It annoys me that they didn't go like finish with that, her being the killer, like
What the fuck is he? Where is he?
When I was talking about watching 3, and I was like, what? Like,
he was in there.
Is he? Like,
Michael was in there. You see him?
He was on the TV. I don't talk my eyes to pull up on nobody for real. Like, but the Halloween 4, yeah, I really do. I enjoyed that one too. I like the character Rachel. I feel like she didn't get enough burn as maybe she should have, but I thought the same thing was going to happen to Allison when they were in the back of the truck, and it kind of, it froze that image of her holding the knife and stuff. And I thought maybe that same thing they were gonna, hey, let's actually play this idea out for real this time.
Yeah, like continuing with it, it just changes shape. Like if they were really gonna lean into it like that, like they'd done something like that in the past, but then they may feel like it's too derivative.
Well, speaking of the knife, panning to the knife with Allison, there was something up with that because so if you've seen the I guess the extended cut of Halloween Kills, where Laurie was walking out of the hospital with the knife in her hand and then pans to the knife and it stops. So that was twice they did that. And they did the first one with Allison, and then the second one with Laurie. So so if they were going to continue the same thing, I wonder what ends would have been.
Who would have had the knife?
Yeah.
But of course, when it comes to ends too, I guess they had like another alternate ending to where Laurie was supposed to be Michael.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like,
because there was actually a picture. There was actually a picture you've seen. I believe it's out there where it actually has Laurie has her hand around Allison's neck. Where they're sitting down at the kitchen table. You see her hand on Allison's neck.
Did she have the mask on?
Interesting ending.
She didn't have the mask on. She just had her hand around Allison's neck.
I don't know why I thought I'd seen or heard something about that. But yeah, that's the thing though. You have all these like extended cuts of the movie, and we were just talking about it the other day. Like there's all these extended cuts of the movie. Then there's all these, oh, here's 7 alternate endings. Like, it doesn't it's like, you know what, we had so many good ideas that we couldn't figure out. Like I really like the movie Unfriended. Like I like both, but like Dark Web, the second one had this whole like alternate ending thing. It had when I say there was like 4 endings of that movie, there really was. And I think different theaters were showing different endings. So like, you could go from here to Kansas City, see the movie twice, and then get 2 completely different endings. And there was the same thing with the Escape Room. Have you seen that, Chick?
No, I haven't seen that.
Both Escape Room movies are really good, but the one that theatrically it went a whole different direction. And then when I bought it to like on my Xbox, I was like, okay, I haven't seen it, let me watch it. It had like a whole like maybe like an hour and a half in, then the movie's like split and they never come back, like the theatrical version and the version that was like on digital, like when you bought it on digital. And I don't know, like, what is the purpose of doing that, because people are going to be completely confused with that. Have you seen Escape Room, Aaron?
I think that we've talked about it. I may have seen parts of it, but it's funny that you say that like there are different endings, because they did that with the movie Clue way back when with like Tim Curry and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's to get people talking about the movies. Like, can you believe that ending? And they're like, what? I didn't see that.
I never thought about it. Like it could be, it could be that.
Anthony's got a question for us. Says, which Halloween film within the franchise makes you feel like Halloween is upon us the most, or has the best Halloween atmosphere?
Has the best Halloween atmosphere. I like 4, because little Jamie is going trick or treating and stuff. Like I like the theme of that. I don't know if I've ever seen a Halloween movie where the actual trees was like orange and shit though. Like all those movies, the trees are still green.
I think 4 is a good pick in terms of atmosphere. I personally think, even though it's like just a few scenes, like the scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and H2O when he goes into Marion's house, we're like, oh, they messed up your kitchen. Bye. Like I think that scene was just like really good at capturing, like, because like how Shape said, like wearing the coats, beanies, and everything like that. And
but does it feel Halloweeny to you after that?
Yeah,
or just that part.
To me, it does, but I think that maybe it just could be a mental correlation because it comes on around that time of year, even though it's like set essentially in California, right? But
yeah, for me, so okay, for me, like the most best Halloween atmosphere type feel for a Halloween film will have to be Halloween 6, because you get the leaves actual look changed. Leaves on the ground. You actually get that feel like, oh, this looks chilly over there. People are in hoodies and everything else. You get that feel, especially when they have that.
See where they're walking to school or whatever it was, and they're
when they're outside. I guess they had like that where they were doing like the radio station thing where they were talking about this and that. Got the little bonfire and everything else, and everybody's wearing costumes. I mean, that's where I get the most feel of Halloween. The way most feel the atmosphere for Halloween.
See, I think
now. Wait on, but going back to him, what he's saying, like California, yeah, pretty much, because California is different. I mean, again, the Halloween franchise takes place in Haddonfield, Illinois. Well, I live here in Illinois, so yeah, when you see you see the changes of the seasons, you see fall, you see winter, you see everything. Now, I was born and raised in Vegas. I lived for 20 years, and in Vegas, you didn't see that. You didn't see the leaves change. You didn't see nothing. Because what we had palm trees. We had some bigger trees, and we had dirt. That's all we had. I didn't have grass.
You said tumbleweeds.
Yeah, that's what you saw pretty much. Or we had weeds growing basically, but that's all we had. We didn't have grass. We didn't have nothing. Everything was palm trees.
You said you said you was growing weed. That's what you said.
Oh, the weeds were growing outside, so we didn't get grass. We had weeds. You know what I mean? But that's so again, when it comes to atmosphere, Halloween Show doesn't really, I mean, it gives the atmosphere in the beginning because it does take place in Illinois. But when it gets to California, the atmosphere is pretty much gone because, like I said,
yeah, but the man asked him what was his opinion though, and that's what he thought.
I know, okay, that's what I'm saying, but I'm just saying though, like, you know, it's in California. I was Vegas right next door to California, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'll just put my little input in there.
My dad had no, what's up? No, you know what? No, on second thought, I don't want to fight actually because he's too buff. I'm pretty sure that when he walks, it's like this, like he like that, you know,
sideways through doors.
Yeah, really though. It was like that too. Like in Georgia, you know, I mean, I spent Christmas with my dad, and there were no leaves on the ground. Like the trees were still green. You know what I mean? My dad had the holly bushes in their front yard. They didn't, you know, they don't die in the wintertime or anything like that and just like start sprouting again in the springtime. You know what I'm saying? It just, so whenever something is set like that in, you know, in California or, you know, somewhere, you know, in the South where it doesn't feel, you know, like, to me, part of the cool thing of Christmas is seeing the snow, you know, especially on Christmas Day and it's snow outside.
Well, what was it? In 2019, it snowed on Halloween.
There.
Yeah, here no, it's snowed on Halloween, right? And then not only that, it snowed on Halloween that same year, 2019 Christmas. We were barbecuing.
Yeah,
in a way, in a way, in Illinois, the seasons kind of make up their own minds. They say, hey, you know what? We're going to be hot today. We're going to be hot. We're cold.
Wait 5 minutes type of thing. Yeah,
that's how Missouri is. I'm pretty sure. Like, okay, so it has rained.
You're right down from me, ain't you? You're right down from Missouri.
Yeah, you're right. Just a state over, yeah. And that's the thing. It has rained more in the last 3 or 4 weeks than I've ever seen it rain in Missouri in my life.
It feels so much more like North Carolina. It's ridiculous.
And so all the rain happening, but last week or maybe the week before last, it was a 99, 100, 104, and today it was like 70 degrees. You know what I mean? Like Missouri is one of those states where you can have all 4 seasons in one day. You leave out with a hoodie on, and when you come back to the crib, you got shorts on. Like
Illinois, same way.
It's just weird how that works. Like I think though, when you have the atmosphere, when you set it up right, it does, like, it changes something in your mind about when you're watching it, because it does make it feel like, oh, you know what, it definitely is more. It does feel like it's more around this time, which, you know, it could make it creepier because it's around Halloween, or, you know, versus just happening on some random day in April or something. You know what I mean? But I think seeing Jamie, she was going to pick out her costume, and she's going, you know, it shows them like the kids going house to house and stuff. Like, to me, that's why it felt most, you know, Halloween, because I can remember doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, picking out a costume.
I remember,
that's a good point.
I remember being you know, like going to get my costume. I remember being a wizard. I remember being Zorro for some reason. I have no idea why. I have no idea why my mom dressed me up as Zorro. That was ridiculous. And then she gave me the fucking eyeliner mustache, like
suave.
There's a mistake. But I remember I dressed as Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! One year, going to get candy, right? And then one of the older kids, because kids are still trick-or-treating, they're like 17. Dude, go away. This is our thing. And he had the ghost face.
Just buy a bag of candy. Stay home.
Like, for real. Like, let us do this. He had the ghost face mask with where the blood was running down.
Oh, yeah. Those are cool.
You guys seen that one? And I remember being a kid, I was just so scared, because at that point, I had never seen Scream. So I didn't know, like, what the hell this was. I'm like, what's wrong with? No. He could go. Like, let him get his candy. He can go. Like, I'll wait. Like, whoever's got the Smarties, which house got the Smarties? That's where I'm going. Like, you know, but he just rolled up and literally just like bag over all of our heads, and just, I'm like, who this nigga? Like what? Anthony, don't repeat that. But
I was Power Rangers when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. I was Batman Beyond one year. That was a lot of fun.
I was mainly Power Rangers. I was Blue Ranger a couple years.
Nice.
And then the ones I remember, then the one I was freaking I was a skeleton. It's ones I can't remember. But I mean, in Vegas, I mean, I remember the streets would be filled, but then that, like later on, man, it just kind of like died down.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever go to like a mall or anything to go trick or treating? Like,
I hadn't.
Your boy had at least 3 pillowcases full of candy because the mall was open on Halloween one year. This had to be like 02 because like Chamber of Secrets came out and had like the whole wizard thing, and I had like the big ass like Merlin hat and all this stuff, and all of the stores, of course the stores were closed. They got like the bars that come down, but there were people who worked there outside, right outside the store, and they were giving out different candies and different things throughout the whole mall, here at the Columbia Mall. And I just remember going and just having like 3 or 4 pillowcases because we from the hood, like we don't have bags apparently, and just having the pillowcases and just walking around like oh yes, this is excellent. And then going through my candy, what, Reese's peanut butter cups here, like anybody can have those. I don't want those. Take everything else though. But I was saying, Aaron, I need those Batman Beyond pictures. I know you or your mom got them. I need to see them.
Okay.
911.
But hey, I'll tell you what though. I actually had more fun doing trick-or-treating Halloween the past 4 years. Because I've been Michael Myers the past 4 years.
I was gonna say,
but not only that though, it's kind of cool because, like I said, because I'm in full costume, and I take the kids out trick or treating. We all walk down, the streets and stuff, and I'm right behind them walking down, and I get people coming to me like, "Hey, can we take a picture with you? Hey, can we take a picture?" Everybody, it's fun.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
So, how tall is Mike?
Well,
I'm sure it's very.
The original Michael Myers, who was played by Nick Castle. Nick Castle's 5'11".
Okay. Is James Jude?
I think James Jude's like 6'2" or 6'3".
Is he the tallest?
No, Tyler Mane is.
Tyler Mane was a.
Well, I mean, out of the good movies, is James Jude Courtney?
Yeah.
Believe so. Yeah, because Tyler Mane like 6'9", 6'10", some shit like that. But Aaron, this dude is committed. I remember one time on Brandon's show, I think we were watching the original Halloween, and he pulled up full like coveralls. He had the mask on, and like everybody's directing, like conversation to him, and he just was.
Yeah, I was
and they'd be like, shake whatever they say to him, and then he would just.
Oh no! What I had was actually I had paper and a marker, so I actually wrote down what I was saying. I did this.
Your answers. I do kind of remember that. But
that's funny.
I was in full costume. so I sat through 2018 with the 2018 mask on, and because we did a double feature Halloween 18.
Oh, that's what it was.
I did 18 full costume, and then I switched over to the kills, and I was in at least about 2-3 hours worth, almost 4 hours worth of full straight up Michael Myers getup.
And how hot was that?
I'm used to it. Like I can be out here, taking pictures. Because I'll take videos and pictures, and I'll pick the best pictures I like, and I'll post them online or whatever. So I'm usually in the costume fully for as long as it takes. And especially when we go trick or treating, I never take the mask off when we're out trick or treating. I mean, I'll take it off to say, hey kids, knock it off, or hey, this whatever. That's about it. But I usually keep that mask on throughout the whole time we're out trick or treating. We're out trick or treating for like 4 or 5 hours. So I'm fully done for it. Even one night we actually went to Subway because she was hungry, and we were done trick or treating. So we went to Subway. I was still in the full getup, still the mask on in Subway. Didn't talk.
Yeah. So
you just point to the menu.
No, Mr. Shape already knew what I was getting. So.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If I'm the manager at that Subway, you can't come in. She can, but that. But I was gonna say. So here's a question. What do you guys think is the best piece of like horror music? Not just necessarily from Halloween, just like overall in general. What's your favorite piece? Maybe not. Let's say the best piece because that's subjective. But what is your favorite piece from just all? Is it the strings from Psycho? Is it the Halloween theme? Like what is it the Addams Family theme? Like what is like the quintessential Halloween song, Yeah, or like that song, you like it, but you definitely only listen to it like around that season. You know what I mean? You're not just walking around every day. Well, Shape is Psycho. So he's listening to it all the time. But I mean, other than that, you know what I mean? You just kind of listen to it around that time.
I really like the Psycho theme. I also, honestly, I was gonna say Jaws. Like Jaws, like theme scared the. Sometimes like it just scared the crap out of me, especially because like I'm obviously afraid of like all kinds of like serial killers and stuff like that. But sharks, oh no, sir, no.
Well, so two things. If you were constipated, then you watched the right movie. Secondly, you're a Marine and you're scared of sharks.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Get together.
Get it together. And then I think
how does one fight a shark, huh?
You punch it, I assume.
I'm good. I don't want to be near that.
No, I see a TikTok video. If a shark comes at you, you just place one hand above his head and one hand up underneath his mouth, close it, and then just slowly redirect him somewhere else and get away.
Redirect him.
Then at the end of the video, got a little kid in the back seat saying, "Wow, bullshit."
Seen that. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Well, for me, it's of course gonna be Halloween theme always. But
which version do you like?
The John Carpenter. No, my.
It's all John Carpenter.
My favorite version will have to be the 18 one. No, I take the back. I take the back. The Kills one, where it's got the
Oh yeah, it's got the little choral.
Yeah, I love that one. That's my.
But didn't they keep the backbeat in there too? It's just got like that 4 on the floor, like.
Yeah, they kept
like
it
beat, like in the background. I like that because
I don't know if this, I mean, I guess kind of consider like Halloween type horror in the movie in a way. But for me, you have to be Fan of the Opera. My Fan of the Opera.
That's
what
dope,
about you, Donnie?
My favorite piece. I mean, I'm a real big fan. It grew on me. The piece from Candyman, the doom 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 with the piano. It plays the very beginning when you see like the bees are forming like the words for the credits, and you just hear that do 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 doom doom. Philip Glass did an amazing score with that, but also of course I like the strings from Psycho, but and I like the Halloween theme, but I really am a fan of the Shape Hunts Allison.
Yeah,
I think that's just.
I remember you showing me that. Yeah,
that's one of the best pieces of music, man. Like, I mean, I have it favorited on Tidal, the streaming service that I use. It's one of my favorites that I, like I said, around that time of the year, I definitely listen to it. But it's cool because it's the it's a violin bow raking across the guitar strings, which is what's making that sound.
Yeah.
And I bought a violin bow just to try to recreate that because it just seems so cool. But it also because it starts with just like the harpsichord thing in the back, and then you don't hear that until she walks up on the iron gate and she sees Oscar's been impaled, and that's the first time you hear it, and it just adds to that scene. Not that scene isn't scary, but I feel like if you take that theme off of that scene, it's not as impactful. You know what I'm saying?
You know what else is a good one? You ready?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that movie scared the crap out of me as a kid. They did Justin.
I would say because he's actually whistling that song in that movie.
God,
I'm not a good whistler, but I do love that too. The Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers?
Except for Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I've heard nothing but bad things. So
I haven't seen it. So.
Yeah, what is your do you have a favorite classic? I don't know if classic horror movie is the right term, because all of us we're born at a time where a lot of that stuff came out way before we were born. You know what I mean? So I also like what's it called? Titular Bells. I think is how you say it. The Exorcist joint.
Oh yeah, that's a wild one.
That one's really cool too. But I just when I say classic movies, I mean Shape. I don't know if you're into watching, black and white movies and just movies from that time period. I mean, I'm just a diehard fan of Vincent Price, and I feel like maybe because people just don't know him nowadays. I feel like his movies aren't talked about a lot, and I understand horror has changed. What was scary in the 50s is not necessarily
Yeah.
scary today. You know, maybe that's the thing with it, but I feel like a lot of people don't know him and like what he did for horror. Same thing with Alfred Hitchcock too. Like these guys,
Yeah.
they paved. What's the other guy that I'm missing? There was three: it was Hitchcock, Vincent Price, and I can't think of the third one. But there was like three classic, horror guys at that time. You know what I mean? So, what is
George
your
Romero?
no? It's a different name that it kind of goes like they mention him with Alfred Hitchcock a lot. But what is your favorite? Like when I say classic horror movie, I mean like that from the 50s, 60s, something from that point.
Me personally, I'd probably have to say Psycho, like through like the editing, the soundtrack, and some of the imagery. That movie, I mean, it's still stuck with me through some of the injury and then not the injury, geez. It's still stuck with me like to this day, and imagery is what I meant to say. And like seeing Norman like fully like committed to like him thinking that he's a mother, just holding the knife. I was like, holy shit.
So what about? Has that movie ever been colorized?
Not to my knowledge.
Interesting. Shape? Do you think that makes a difference when you see like a horror movie colorized versus black and white? If Halloween was black and white, would you have a different opinion of it?
I don't actually know, to be honest.
It'd be an interesting edit to do that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like black and white. I mean, I watch black and white films. I mean, hell, I love the original, Universal monsters. Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, the Mummy, those films like there. And then of course, heck, I mean, I enjoy freaking Young Frankenstein. Now, I mean, if Young Frankenstein was a color, I mean, it wouldn't change. It wouldn't change the fact that the movie is a good movie. It's funny. I mean, it's not going to change the fact.
That had Gene Wilder in it.
Yeah, it's got Gene Wilder in it.
Yeah.
But again, when it comes to movies, they were made in black and white, but they made it colorized today. It's not going to change the film. Same thing with, I mean, if Halloween was in black and white, and then they
don't think it'll
it's not going to change the film. I mean, all you're go see is in color or something in black and white, but it's not going to change the film.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Case in point, Halloween, not Halloween, Addams Family. You're not going to tell me that wouldn't have been a completely different show if it was in color.
I actually never seen it.
You never seen the OG Addams Family from the 60s? So, Technicolor was created like 1964, and that's when they were on, and so they had done the first two seasons, and they were competing with the Munsters, right? The Munsters, I think, did get colorized before it got canceled, but they were kind of on. One was on NBC, one was on ABC. They came on at the same time, and they were like competing. Then they canceled both of those shows, and then they were going to bring Addams Family back to do a third season. Then Blossom Rock, who played Grandmama, she died, and then they were like, okay, let's just not do it. But they were going to bring it back in full color. And I'm saying, when you see the inside of their house, it's so whimsical. There's all this different, like, cool. There's gag items, and they have like a big ass lion walking through the house. Like, there's all this stuff that would look way cooler if it was in, if it was in color. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
I'll tell you what though, if Halloween was in black and white, and Michael like comes out of the shadows behind Laurie, I think that would be like even scarier black and white.
You think so?
Yeah, because it's pitch black and all you see his white face come out.
I think that's why they lean into the shadows really well. I mean, I think it'd be interesting to see someone edit the movie, and then black and white. And then, I mean, my biggest thing with like color and movies and everything like that, like the example that came to my mind was Wizard of Oz. It was a technical showpiece, and then it was a technical showpiece for the time. But then, like, if the movie was kept in black and white, would it have kind of kept like the whole, like, how do I say, like, whimsical nature of it? But I mean, that was very much a bright movie. It wasn't a horror movie, even though The Witch also scared the shit out of me as a kid. But
well, I mean, Van Helsing did it. Van Helsing was black and white at the beginning of the film before it went to color.
Yeah, that's a great example. I really enjoyed that movie.
And see, and the Wizard of Oz has that kind of like sepia looking kind of color, you know. At the beginning.
That is true.
Brownish color.
And it has. I'm saying if the movie stayed that same way as she travels into Oz, you wouldn't feel the same way about the movie. I mean, I'm not saying that it's your favorite movie or anything like that, but I'm saying when you watch it, you probably wouldn't have the same opinion of it. If it was that same sepia toned like throughout the whole, you know what I mean? It being in color, it points directly to and helps the Red Ruby shoes, the Emerald City, like
Lollipop Guild, all that stuff.
Like we all, the Yellow Brick Road, like we all know what those colors are like, but it's another thing to see the visual of it versus just like trying to imagine it in your head and seeing it. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have just been spoiled with color that when we see something in black and white, we're like, what is this? Like, I hate seeing like music videos in black and white, just because I've grown up with, with Technicolor. So, it just, I think it would make a difference. Because, Aaron, did you feel like House on Haunted Hill was scarier in black and white?
I think it's hard for me to say because we've talked about it both in color and in black and white. So I just know that it's scary, but I would say like if I had seen it in black and white, if I had to compare it maybe I guess to Psycho, I think it would still very much, I'll say this, if it was solely made in black and white like Psycho, it would still absolutely be scary for sure.
We'll see, and then there's the jump scare scene that we talked about with there's like the lady who's like the caretaker or whatever she was, right? There's that scene. I think when we watched it in color, it didn't seem. It could also be that we seen the movie already, so we knew what was coming. But when that scene was colorized, it didn't seem as much of a shock as it was when it was in black and white. Shape, you should definitely watch the movie. It's they got both on Tubi. I was telling Anthony to watch it. If you ever seen the remake from 1999 or whatever it is with got Taye Diggs in it and
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah. Famke Janssen is in. What's the dude from Undercover Brother?
Oh, Chris Kattan. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Chris Kattan is in there. And I want the check, so you give it right now. God damn it. Like that remake is really cool. It's very updated, but I think
also scared the crap out of me. Oh my god.
That movie?
Yeah.
You talking about that scene? You talking about that scene where like he turns the chair around and the dude's face is completely gone?
I mean, that's one of them. And then like when they would like walk in front of the cameras, it'd be like all weird and
like choppy, like when they would see like Dr. Vandercut and he would just be moving and it was all like it like Shape has no idea what we're talking about. You never seen House on Haunted Hill? The remake?
Highly recommend. I think they're on HBO Max if you happen to have it. So
HBO Max.
Hard to keep up with all this stuff.
Tell me about it. And then I was explaining this to my mom. I watched a movie the other day called Pray for the Devil. Swing and a miss. But I feel like don't you all feel like possession movies always fall flat because of what The Exorcist did?
I mean, we talked about this on the stream that I was on with you with Anthony. Like, talk to me. I
haven't seen that. I didn't know what that was even about.
Try to if you whatever means are financially best for you to watch that movie, do so because it's amazing.
So basically, what that means is you watched it illegally.
I'm not admitting to that whatsoever. The Fifth Amendment is in full effect.
Okay, show me the DVD,
But
please, or show me the movie ticket stub, please.
I can show you one that I maybe wrote. But anyway, I highly recommend that
It's about
because it felt very fresh for a possession movie.
really.
To me personally, yes.
I feel like they're all like a dime a dozen. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Pray for the Devil. Like all of these movies are coming out. The Pope's Exorcist is all like about
The
that
Pope's
same.
Exorcist look like trash. I'm
Like,
sorry.
They all seem to have that same like feeling, and I feel like it just has this connotation where like it had to rip off of The Exorcist, whereas you could kind of do some, the serial killer thing has been done, but Michael is different from Jason. Jason is different from Freddy. Freddy is different from Chucky.
Ghostface.
Like it's all those guys are all different. They're all their own thing, but with that, it just seems like it's all kind of like running together. It's the same thing. And now with The Exorcist coming back, I feel like people are trying to capitalize on like an anniversary of it. Because you guys remember in 2019, they were going to do a 50th anniversary concert for Woodstock. And they were going to have like the big artists of today were going to be there. Jay-Z was going to perform, and Rick Ross, a Chance the Rapper, and like all these like big celebrity, musicians now, they were going to perform at the Woodstock 50, but then nobody would put up the money for it, so then it didn't happen. But they were trying to get that 50th anniversary thing done, and I feel like that's kind of what they're trying to do with The Exorcist. Because do we need another Exorcist movie? Like, is that really necessary? And then for it to be a trilogy, only to probably bring Linda Blair in at some point. I'm not sure like what her stance is on the franchise, but I'm saying,
you know what? All I gotta say is, Blumhouse, they don't need to do trilogies. Do 2 good movies. That's all I need to do. Don't do the 3rd film, because all they're gonna do is drop the ball on the 3rd film. Because then all of a sudden it's going to be a love story between the demon who possessing the girl and something. It's not going to be any great. So it's going to be like, okay. And then the demon's going to fall in love with the boy, and they're going to have whatever, and then the demon's going to become good again. And
he's going to be a real boy, and then he's going to go to school, and then have a wonderful life.
No, I mean, I feel like it's so hard to come up with something so original, and then when you do, it just gets like almost universally panned. You know what I mean? Like it just.
Well, I mean, for me, when it comes to like new horror movies are coming out, I mean, you got vampire and we got the slashers, so like that, right? But I think like someone who's actually kind of like trying to redefine horror in a way is freaking what's the name? Keenan or Peele, whatever his name is.
Oh, Jordan Peele, yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Peele. I mean, he's been kind of defining some different things. I mean, especially with that Note. I was like, oh my God, what is this? I mean, but same thing. He's kind of like redefining some stuff when it comes to horror in a way.
Like, and right, yeah, me and you are about to get into a full-on fight right now, because like if you sit up there and tell me that Nope was bad, like then I know that you're on that same shit Rob Zombie had to be on, because that's my point though. Here's something completely different out the blue. Everybody hated it.
Well, I mean, that's in the way when it comes to this whole thing. That's what me and my mom were talking about. Hollywood has no original ideas anymore.
Yeah,
everything is either going to be a sequel or a remake or whatever. That's pretty much all it is anymore now with Hollywood. I mean, come on, we got 10 Fast and Furious. How many Mission Impossibles do we have?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a continuation now. I mean, again, Halloween came out 18. You had Scream with Scream 5, or so you have all these films are coming back and trying to do this and trying to do that. There's no fresh ideas. There's no fresh, why not create a new monster, a new creature or something, or some type of new serial killer that has some kind of thing. I mean, you have other serial killers, but most of the time they're always resembling the same ones. They either have a mask, or it's something. It's always the same thing. So
it's just like what I was
even the whole Exorcist stuff. It's always Exorcist, but it's like you said, possession movies. You know, it's most of half the movies we've seen now of freaking possession movies. It's all been about priests. You know, fighting the demons like that. What was that? What was that one with the Anthony Hopkins? The Right.
Yeah.
Now you got the one with the Pope versus the Exorcist, where with freaking Russell Crowe. I mean, it's like similar stuff, but of course they're supposed to be based on true stories or true events. So I mean, you have those movies, but at the same time, it's like we're just watching the same film in a way with just different characters, different actors, different characters.
And really too, at that point, it's like, how many times is this going to be based off a true story? Like, how many times did this shit happen for you to keep saying it's based off some kind of real story? Well, you're saying it's based off the real story, so that means you're taking probably a lot of liberties for what actually did happen versus what you are, whatever story you are telling. But that's what I'm saying, though. I was explaining to Anthony, like, I felt like everybody who didn't like Nope, they had a preconceived notion that it was going to be like aliens, and they want to see something that looks like ET or something like that. They want to see what in their mind is an extraterrestrial. But the fact is, we don't know what that looks like. So why could it not be a shape-shifting thing? And that is the alien. Like, why could it not be that? And nobody wanted to look at it that way because they didn't get what they saw in their head. So immediately, oh, this movie is trash. And it's like, I don't get, because it's new. It's like his own thing. And what if Jean Jacket was just a killing machine? Which that's what it was, right? Okay. Well, I don't like that movie. Well, do you like Jaws? Oh yeah, I love Jaws. Isn't he just a killing machine? Like that's what he did. He just killed. Like, at no point did they go and become friends with the shark and he was like shaking his flipper with them or some shit like that. Like, that never happened. It was just killing a killing machine. That's all he did, right? So explain to me, that's in the water, this is in the sky. Why is one trash and one highly regarded? Like, I think Jaws has like a 90 or a 92 or something, out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and not that I dislike Jaws, but it's never been like in my top 5 or whatever. That's Anthony, if you're still in here, I'm sorry, I know that hurt your heart, but it's never been like it's never been in my top 5. But that's just how I feel with that, because I've watched it multiple times. I just feel like the pacing of it is very slow. With Nope, I felt like there was shit happening all the time as the movie was progressing, and it taming a predator, and all this stuff, that all these themes that Jordan Peele went in there to put in there to make it original. You know what I'm saying? And then for it to just get panned, I just I just don't understand. And I feel like what that does in turn is that's why Hollywood keeps coming out with the stale ideas, because directors are scared to say, oh, well, here is this new idea because it's going to get universally panned. Like, here's like, just to juxtapose, there's a rumor going around right now that Andre 3000 got his first solo album is going to come out this year. And ever since Outkast broke up, everybody's been clamoring for an Andre 3000 solo album. But Big Boy has made 3 and Andre has made none. He just does features. And everybody's been like, oh, Andre make one. And then he did that podcast with Rick Rubin a few years ago, where his whole thing was he felt like if he did it, and he felt like if he did it and it got panned, that it might hurt his love or his drive to keep making music, because the people he made it for are panning it, right? And so I feel like that's kind of the same thing that happens in Hollywood. They're like, well, we got these original ideas, but we don't want to bring it to the forefront because the masses just, they don't want to see that. They want to see you lay a new foundation on top of some shit that's already built.
When it comes to that, right? Like, so, nobody's got original ideas, stuff like that. But I mean, majority of people like saying stuff is mostly fans. I mean, we always want something. You always want more of the same stuff. That's the thing. We want more Jason. We want more Michael. We want more Freddy. We want more Star Wars. We want more of this. We want more of that. It's like,
but then you can't get it and then complain.
I know that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Everybody wants to complain, but again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like people still want those types of movies. They want the remakes. They want hell. If you want a remake of freaking when they're supposed to do a remake of Lost Boys, or they were supposed to do a remake of The Crow. Now, in my opinion, The Crow should not be remade at all. Because that was Brandon. Because that was Brandon Film's last film. And he died on that set of The Crow. That should not be remade at all.
And that movie spawned one of the best wrestling gimmicks that there ever was. Like, you know, just don't mess with it. Like, that's how I felt about Scarface when there were talks about redoing that. And it's like, but that's the thing. It's like, that's what I'm saying. You got the foundation from whatever it was, and then it's like they got to keep trying to like build on top of that rather than just like, you know, hey, here's a building that we built next to the one that's already built. You know what I'm saying? Like, versus just keep adding on. But I'm saying that to say that I feel like part of that is it's like, shit, we got this idea, but I don't know if we can, like, if it's gonna get any traction without, you know, without having to make it be like an indie kind of thing. Because is the movie you were just talking about, Aaron, talk to me, that had a theatrical release, or was it like? But was it one of those like selected theaters thing? I'd never seen a commercial or any advertisement for it. When you and Anthony brought it up the other day, that's the first time I ever heard of it.
Wow, like that's interesting because
it's on YouTube. So it's on most.
That's where I was gonna say that I'd seen advertisements for it, but it's a Studio A24 movie, and I don't think it's like the best kind of possession movie, but it's a very good kind of supernatural horror movie. And I don't even think a priest even came into that movie. It was all people trying to figure out what they can do once kind of they've realized that they were very much in over their heads. But I think that that's a really good and original horror movie. I guess you could say kind of within the possession like subgenre, I guess. But I still think that it's, in terms of horror, it was really, really good.
Do you feel like it has, like, you know, it bit off the Exorcist, like where you can see the influence? There's one thing, just ripping off, and then just like, there's an influence for two different things. Whereas, like, you know, because we were talking about like Ends is basically like Christine.
Yeah, I would say maybe, other than it just being a possession, like I said, there was no priest. It set up its own kind of lore for everything, like in its. But other than it being a possession, like it felt different enough for me that it set its own kind of precedent, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't like, oh my God, like to the point where like they could have been like Exorcist handshake or something like that, but they didn't. They just called it like Talk to Me, and like it was really good.
Interesting. Like that's what I'm saying. I didn't see like not one thing about it. I have to like check it and see, you know, because that's what I'm saying. I just got every year there's some kind of Exorcist movie coming out, or exorcism based movie that I just was like, you know, you can't fuck with the OG. Like, you know, I haven't seen anybody like try to remake like The Birds or something. You know what I mean? It you know, it just has its place in history where nobody wants to touch it. I kind of how we were talking about this shape. We're talking about how Robert Englund isn't doing anything like Freddy Krueger related, but then not that Jackie Earl Haley did like terrible, but it's like it's like a role that just, you know, it can't be touched. It cannot be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? It's like same thing with Ledger's Joker. Like everybody got that, and then they can't.
Yeah,
they can't let that go.
That's me. Like I said, Robert Englund, he's always been Freddy. You can't replace that because he's been that character for how many movies now? So it's like he is Freddy. Just like in a way, Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman cannot be replaced as Wolverine because Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. You get another person being Wolverine, but at the same time, it's not going to feel like Wolverine because we are used to Hugh Jackman for how many years?
Yeah, and
since
see,
we were kids.
Yeah, when we were kids. I mean, he's been Wolverine since the first X-Men and has not stopped playing Wolverine. He's been cameos in all the X-Men films, and now he's gonna be in Deadpool. What? Deadpool 3?
3.
So
You saw the Candyman requel shape?
no.
And shit. So there was like a whole. Everybody was like kind of mad that Tony Todd like wasn't in it more than what he was. It's like a cameo really of him in there, and it was like they used the computer shit to make him look younger and stuff like that. But it's just a real quick. You see him at the very end kind of thing, and you blink and you miss it kind of thing, and everybody was mad like he is Candyman. He should have been in it more. It shouldn't have been, And I feel like the trailer kind of told you that a different person was gonna be Candyman, so to expect him to just be, but it is kind of when you think of that, you go. It's a little bit different with Michael. Not that James Jude Courtney isn't maybe the best Michael, but that character has a mask on, so you're not always seeing them. Whereas, you're seeing Freddy's face, you're seeing Candyman's face, so you're immediately tying that. Because I don't think I think we all know Brad Dourif's voice, but if we just seen him, we may not be able to recognize him immediately. But when he talks, like, that's Chucky. I know who that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not that instant like recognizability with it. But then you have, like I said, with the Candyman thing, he did 3 movies, and then for whatever reason they didn't touch Candyman for 21 years or something like that before they 1999 was Candyman 3, and then 21 was the requel. But it maybe I don't know, maybe Jordan Peele thought that somebody couldn't do it like Tony Todd did, and that's why they're like, hey, we aren't gonna mess with it. Or if he's in it, just a small little like microcosm of time. But then where do you think the line should be drawn in the sand with that? Like, at what point do you stop so you don't get to like a situation like how the 3 of us can't see anybody else being Wolverine, right? I can't. Same thing with with Professor Xavier. You know what I mean? I see Patrick Stewart as a lot of older people. They see him from Star Trek, but in my mind, that's Professor X. Fuck what you talking about? Like,
well, I mean, my thing is, Robert Englund says he's. We'll talk about Freddy real quick. Robert Englund says he's too old to play Freddy and everything else, but
I don't know how old he is.
Why? I mean, honestly, why I think he's like 60 something, but anyways, or 70. But my thing is, why can't he play Freddy Krueger? I mean, again, you can have other actors do the physical things. I mean, come on now. There's latex masks out there people make that looks just like Robert Englund. You put it on, you look just like Robert Englund. That's Freddy Krueger. I mean, honestly, tell me they can't recreate that and put on some younger actor and just do the close-up scenes is Robert Englund and like the faraway shots is a younger actor, running and jumping and doing all this stuff like that. I mean, why can't they do that? I mean, look at Luke Skywalker. Look at Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill came back and was in The Mandalorian, walking up there, and it's basically Mark Hamill, but they also got a younger actor, slimmer build, out there with Mark Hamill's face on him. That deep fake thing, wherever it is. People can do that. Look at Harrison Ford in the new Indiana Jones film. How he looks younger. You can do that. It's like nowadays you can make people look young anymore. You go from like super old to super young, like just like that with all the stuff we have. Why can't people do that? Especially with with Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, he can still have he can still play Wolverine, just have his face on a younger person's body. Why not?
But the problem with Robert Englund is, does he want to do it though? You know what I'm saying? Not that the problem might not be can he do it as much as it is he just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to he physically can't do it. That's one thing. But then excuse me, with the other I know what you're saying. Like you could do it in like how you had what's the guy's name that played Bucky in Avengers?
Oh, Sebastian Stan.
He's the guy that he's talking about that played like young Luke Skywalker.
He never played Luke Skywalker. He never played Luke Skywalker.
And yeah, that's him that was the stand-in for the Mandalorian or whatever it was.
Nope.
dude. Yes, it was.
What?
Dude, I'm telling you, it was. But the
Hey, I got Google. Let me double check real quick.
right, because I don't. I'm pretty sure that my friend Matt called me and was going crazy that night that episode happened. But you're right. I mean, didn't they do the same thing with Ewan McGregor to make him look younger as Obi-Wan in the show? So you can do it. It's just a matter of like, what if it's just the actor doesn't want to do it, which is why they're afraid to go forward and take that chance. Like Aaron, who do you think will be a good candidate to pick up? And if they were going to do another Nightmare on Elm Street, because it's one that maybe he could do the voice or something, but then you just have somebody else do the physical part.
I mean, if we're talking just do the voice, and I will say I'm probably gonna need to hop off after I make the just the statement, but I honestly think if he hadn't played Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård would probably make an amazing Freddy Krueger. Personally,
you mean? Do you mean real quick? Do you mean physically, or do you mean like he could do like the voices stuff too? Excuse me.
I personally think that he could kind of do both, because I mean, if Bill Skarsgård could do that good of a job, like kind of like paying homage, but also being like different than like to Tim Curry, and Tim Curry is an amazing actor. I think that he can find like that interesting spectrum between like paying homage to the predecessor actor and then making kind of his own path. That's just what I think.
Interesting. Like, yeah, that's not a bad show. Didn't he play Tarzan too?
His brother did.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay, I thought it was the same guy. But I was gonna say real quick, just to make a point, you have the same thing with Billy D. Williams. Like,
Yeah.
I know that. Like Billy D said that as long as they're doing stuff with Lando Calrissian involved, he'll do it. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's not going to be jumping off his shit and doing flips and stuff like he would, like young Lando would. But that doesn't mean he still did stuff in the Star Wars, whatever episode it was, episode 9, I think it was, where he did come back and he's going to be involved. And then you got like James Earl Jones still voiced Darth Vader up until the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. That was the last thing that he did, where he finally signed his rights over to Disney. But the man's like 92 years old. Of course, he doesn't, he can't just get up and go to a studio at will to go record some shit. But I'm saying he did it for so long that they can digitally recreate his voice or take the lines and use them, whatever, that they know that they can use that without altering it and making Vader sound different, Because if you ever see those like outtakes of the scenes from the old Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire, stuff like that, before they added in James Earl,
the guy,
Sebastian Shaw, I think I can't remember his name. The guy who is he was in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds ridiculous. Like when you are traded to the Rebel Alliance, take her away, and you're like, the fuck, like like. Like you know what I mean? It just is different, but they have the digital capabilities to just keep James Earl Jones' voice. Long after he passes away, he's still gonna be the voice of Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it just comes down to a matter of like, do they want to do it? Do they want to be involved? I think Robert Englund said there wasn't enough Viagra in the world to get him to be Freddy Krueger again. Like. So,
but everybody, it's kind of getting late. I can get stuff done, still get stuff done. But this was one hell of a night, guys. One hell of a stream. Debated on about Halloween ends and a whole bunch of other stuff too. Yeah. But again, this one nice, because like I said, because it's kind of short notice, nice little topics. Like I said, it's just kind of a chill night. So, but before we go ahead and go, I want to thank everybody and thank you guys for coming along, hopping on the channel, and of course, thanks everybody in the chat, talk with us, having fun with us, and of course, as I always let you guys do, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you guys at. Go ahead, Donnie, you first.
Yeah, I recently made an Instagram, so Instagram is at King Donatello, like it says on the screen there, because they wouldn't let me use my regular name. So that and my YouTube channel is just Donnie Harden Jr. I do guitar covers over there. So come through and check me out. And Shape, always thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it for sure. It's always fun. It's what is it? It's always sweet when players meet.
Yeah.
So and to my man Carrot Top. I mean, Aaron.
It's more like carrot beard, but I mean, yeah. But
I didn't think that was gonna roll off the tongue, so that's why I didn't say it.
I'm definitely not as jacked as Carrot Top, but I mean, you can find me on Instagram. I can't remember the exact handle, but it should just be Aaron Bressman.
I think you have an underscore in between your first
name. I think that's it. Something like that. But I mean, I can always reach out and share. But more importantly, I'm thankful that I got to be on another stream. I'm kind of getting into the comfortability of it, and I really appreciate it, Shape, and I'd be happy to do it whenever things line up.
All right. Well, for you two guys, like I said, for next, so we had to cancel this week. They'll be back on for episode 2 of We Love Horror podcast. We're going to be doing Ghostface versus Michael Myers. So it's going to be mainly so basically like kills, looks, like the franchise. Which had the best movies. Like
were you gonna go like movie versus like Halloween 1 versus Scream 1, Halloween?
No, it's going to be like the whole franchise versus franchise in a way.
Cool. Okay. I've been doing homework.
And me and Aaron went and saw Scream 6 together, so it'd be cool if you fall through for that, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of the other Screams, juxtaposed Halloween.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a party.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. But again, thank you all for coming. Appreciate you, one of you. And of course, as always, the Shape is always in the shadows. Always. There, everybody.